Hello, students, parents, guardians, caregivers, and community members alike. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Todd Greco, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as your district administrator here in the Dodgeland School District. In December, after reviewing our financial situation, our school board decided to seek voter approval for a $700,000 operational referendum question, which voters will see on the April 7th ballot. Today, I'd like to take a few moments to explain what the money will be used for, what will happen if the operational referendum doesn't pass, and where you can find additional information moving forward. The first question on everybody's mind is, what will the $700,000 be used for? Our focus will be on operational funding to support high school elective and AP programming, middle school athletics, small class sizes at the elementary, and a number of operational needs, including transportation, buildings and grounds, and technology. In 2020, voters approved a capital referendum, which was used to support some of our infrastructure and building needs. However, those funds are not able to be used for operational needs, which is the reason why we are seeking a $700,000 operational referendum here this spring. For voters that decide to participate in the election process, the ballot question they'll see and be asked to answer is, shall the Dodgeland School District, Dodge County, Wisconsin, be authorized to exceed the revenue limit specified in Section 12191 Wisconsin statutes by $700,000 per year for 4 years, beginning with the 26-27 school year and ending with the 29-30 school year, for non-recurring purposes consisting of operational expenses to maintain class sizes at the elementary school level, to sustain elective and advanced courses at the middle and high school levels, and continue middle school athletics. The next obvious question is, what will happen if the referendum fails? And this is a really difficult question to answer. And while I can't give the immediate specifics of specific budgetary reductions, what I can do is say that the board and administration has wrestled with this question and settled on 6 buckets that ultimately budgetary reductions will take place in. The first will be a high school elective teacher or program. It's possible that it is an entire program because a number of our electives are taught by one teacher. We'll also rework our schedule at the secondary level, which will ultimately yield an additional teacher in our advanced placement programming. We'll eliminate all middle school athletics for our middle school students. We will increase class sizes and sections at the elementary school level, which will yield 2 additional teaching positions, faculty positions, 1 paraeducator throughout the entire district, and then a number of smaller operational needs will be kind of put together in the areas of transportation, buildings and grounds, and technology. We know the communication is absolutely critical. And so while we are in the process of finalizing that communication plan, I did want to share out some information right now that I think you'll find very helpful. Within the next couple of weeks, you'll be receiving a newsletter that will be mailed out and land in your mailbox. That was a result of our fall survey that we conducted, asking folks to communicate with us how they would like to be communicated with. And an overwhelming amount, 2/3 to 70% of respondents indicated that they would like to see a print copy newsletter in their mailbox. And so one of the things we'll be doing is starting with that. And so you'll have a small little bit of referendum information in that, but really the bulk of the information, 80+%, probably 90% of it, will involve some of the great things that are going on here in the school district. And we want to keep everybody informed of what's going on, especially for folks that may not otherwise have an opportunity to engage with us or know what's happening. We'll also be communicating with you through social media. Each week, I plan to send out a finance video, so I will be starring in that video. Hopefully, you'll enjoy those and have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about school finance and provide a little bit more rationale and reason why the school district ultimately has decided to move forward in seeking a $700,000 referendum. The Dodgeland Exchange is our go-to website. I would encourage you to click on the QR code to your right. I realize that I'm in the way. However, there will be an opportunity later in this presentation. You'll have an opportunity to click on that QR code, but sign up for all the latest news and updates, including referendum and otherwise. We want to keep you informed. If you have questions personally, or if others ask you questions, direct people to our website. That is our go-to place, the Dodgeland Exchange, to help communicate all relevant information. I'll be hosting some community engagement opportunities as well, in person and virtual town hall. We'll have some in the school district and outside of the school district in some of the various communities. Currently, I'm planning to be on the agenda at some of the local village or town hall meetings, council meetings, the city of Juneau, and so forth. And we'll keep you updated on those through our Facebook, and on the Dodge and Exchange. We'll have the most recent up to date information with regard to where I'll be to help share information and engage with the community. Every Tuesday morning between February 3rd and April 7th, I will be at the Village Garden here in Juneau between 7:45 and 8:45. I'll be there getting a cup of coffee and having some breakfast. I would love to have the opportunity to answer any questions that you have and engage with you around our referendum or anything else that you might have questions about with regard to our school district. If one person's there, that would be great. If 10 people are there, that would be great. And if nobody's there, I'll just enjoy a cup of coffee and breakfast on my own. But I certainly would love to have the opportunity to answer questions that either you have or you're hearing from others out in the community as well, neighbors, relatives, and so forth. One of the goals here in the Dodgeland School District that our board has adopted is being fiscally responsible. And we want to provide the most fiscally responsible education that we can, that you have come to expect, and our students certainly deserve. And I know that recently our tax rates increased by 9.2%, and that has created some frustration. And I've heard from a number of community members as well. One of the things I just wanted to highlight is 13 out of the last 20 years has actually had a higher tax rate than this year, which may be difficult to believe, but in fact, that is the case. The 2025 tax levy was actually 11% lower than it was even in 2010. So while there is a sting that's there that the taxes did increase by 9.2%, they're still 11% lower than they were in 2010. Now, some of you might have looked at that and say, well, my taxes went up 20% or 17% or whatever. And certainly I can't argue with that fact if you're speaking specifically about your property. What I'm speaking about here when I say 9.2% is the overall aggregate total of all property that falls within the Dodgeland School District. And so if yours is up 15% or 18% over last year, that means that somebody else's is certainly down, and that's under the 9%, so that we come up with an average of 9%. And our goal is certainly to be fiscally responsible, and we believe we're doing just that by seeking the $700,000 referendum so that we can continue to provide the excellent programming that we have here by way of elective courses, advanced courses, which we really think give our students a competitive edge in the world economy that continues to evolve, as we all know. We want to provide middle school athletics for our students to keep them engaged in the schooling experience at a really critical age of their development. And we all know we want to maintain class size at the elementary level, which certainly provide our youngest students with the individualized instruction at times that they need, which is directly impacting the foundation that's being built as they begin their educational journey into middle school, high school, and beyond. I want to return now just to the tax levy conversation for just a moment. And what you see in front of you here is a chart that's showing the tax levy over the last 20 years, beginning over here in 2005, ending right here most recently in December of 2025. In 2005, the property value of the entire school district was $280 million. We collected $3.5 million from our local tax base, and our mill rate was 12.45. Skipping ahead to 2025, you'll see our property value increased by $340 million to a total of $620 million, and our tax levy increased by $400,000 to $3.9 million with a mill rate of 6.3. And so what you can see is that here in the school district, we're collecting from our local taxpayers $400,000 more than we did in 2005 on property value of $340 million increase. Over that 20-year period, there actually has been the highest year, which is actually in 2010. That year, we had $330 million in property value. Total tax collected from our local taxpayers was $4.4 million, which yielded a 13.42 mill rate. So a question that I've been asked is what will happen to the mill rate and what will happen to the levy if the referendum is approved? Well, you can see here, this is our current year. So in 2025, this is what we have. So obviously in 2026, then, the 3.9 million would actually be 4.6 million, and that would end up being $200,000 more than the highest point over the last 20 years, which was in 2010, of the 4.4 million. So in actuality, the mill rate year over year would increase by 94 cents. So we would go up to 7.24. However, it would be 4.5% higher than it was in 2010. And so that's what the public can expect to see if the referendum is ultimately approved. $4.6 million would be collected, which would essentially take us to the highest point then over the 20 trailing years. But it is only $200,000 more than it was in 2010. That's all I have for you today. Here is, as promised, that QR code is back. This is the Dodge and Exchange, your go-to website, go-to place for all the community resources, school newsletters, announcements, all of our upcoming information as it relates to the referendum. And I would encourage you to go ahead and click on that QR code, get yourself signed up so that you can stay in touch and stay connected, and so that we can engage with you throughout this process. Again, I would love to engage with you, encourage you to either call me, send me an email, stop by the Village Garden on Tuesday mornings and engage with me between 7:45 and 8:45, answer any questions that you have, and direct any others that way as well. Other than that, have a great day, and go Trojans.